My name is Sarah Whitmore, and the day my ex-husband tried to take my children, I realized how fragile peace can be after divorce. I thought the hardest part was already behind me, the paperwork, the arguments, the emotional exhaustion. I was wrong. The real test came when control replaced cooperation. After the divorce, my ex-husband, Daniel Whitmore, and I had a clear custody agreement. It was written carefully, reviewed by professionals, and signed willingly. We shared responsibilities, and although communication was minimal, it remained civil. I believed that for the sake of our children, Emma Whitmore and Lucas Whitmore, we had reached an understanding. That belief shattered one quiet afternoon. I was preparing dinner when I noticed Daniel Whitmore's car outside my house. He hadn't informed me of a visit, and it wasn't his scheduled time. Before I could process what was happening, Emma Whitmore ran into the kitchen, saying her father told them they were leaving with him for a while. His tone, she said, sounded serious. I stepped outside and asked Daniel Whitmore what he was doing. He said he had every right to take his children and that things were changing. I asked him what he meant. He avoided answering directly, instead insisting I was being unreasonable and emotional. That word, emotional, felt calculated. I told him calmly that he was violating our custody agreement. He smiled in a way that made my stomach tighten and said I should check again. That was when I realized this wasn't confusion. It was intentional. I didn't scream. I didn't panic. I asked my children to go back inside and called the police. When the officers arrived, Daniel Whitmore grew confident. He spoke quickly, presenting himself as a concerned father. He claimed I was unstable and that he feared for the children's well-being. Hearing someone rewrite your life in front of strangers is a uniquely helpless feeling. But facts don't respond to confidence, they respond to truth. The officers asked to see documentation. I handed them the custody agreement. Daniel Whitmore hesitated. He said he didn't have his copy. One officer reviewed the document carefully, then asked Daniel Whitmore if there had been any recent court modifications. There hadn't. Then came the moment that changed everything. One officer stepped aside to verify records. When he returned, his tone was firm. He explained that not only was Daniel Whitmore violating the custody agreement, but there was also a prior report filed weeks earlier. A report Daniel Whitmore had forgotten about, one where he attempted to alter pickup arrangements without consent and was warned formally. Daniel Whitmore's confidence drained instantly. The officer explained that removing the children without authorization could be considered custodial interference. The word hung in the air, heavy and undeniable. My children stood behind me, holding my hands. I stayed calm, even as my heart raced. The officers spoke directly to Daniel Whitmore, explaining that any concerns should be addressed through legal channels, not intimidation or force. They made it clear that his behavior had crossed a line. Daniel Whitmore tried to backtrack. He said he misunderstood the agreement. The officer corrected him gently but firmly. Misunderstanding doesn't override written orders. The police ensured my children stayed with me and instructed Daniel Whitmore to leave. They also documented the incident thoroughly. As he walked back to his car, he didn't look angry anymore. He looked exposed. After they left, I sat on the floor with Emma Whitmore and Lucas Whitmore, holding them until their breathing slowed. They asked if they had done something wrong. I told them the truth. They hadn't. Adults sometimes make choices driven by fear and control, and it's not a child's responsibility to fix that. In the weeks that followed, the incident was reviewed formally. Daniel Whitmore was required to attend mediation and follow stricter communication guidelines. He no longer spoke in threats or assumptions. The authority he tried to claim disappeared the moment truth was verified. What I learned from that day is something I want every parent to understand. Calm is powerful. Documentation matters. And when someone tries to rewrite reality, facts will always speak louder than accusations. The police didn't take sides, they followed the truth. And that truth protected my children when I needed it most. Divorce didn't make me weak. It forced me to become precise, steady, and unshakable when it mattered. My children didn't see fear that day. They saw their mother stand firm without raising her voice. And that is the truth no one can take away.